Hello and welcome back to Heroes of the Mist. We're just back from our break. The previous session, we spent the entire session equipping the PCs. Everybody feel nicely equipped up now after 2 weeks of the tension building for your equipment?
Woo! I can off my equipment.
I have basic mundane armor.
You just load it all up
And a
and
magic
strut
glow
around
stick.
with all your
Remember,
equipment?
you're not allowed to show off your equipment if River's around.
Oh, right. Careful.
Oh no, Torden's going to be
Family
bedecked
friendly.
in all of his weapon and equipment with his helmet and like fur cloak and
So
everything.
this huge pile with little legs sticking out the bottom going, because what's your strength?
7. So I have on me my short sword, long sword, daggers in the
Short and long sword.
Yeah, short sword at the hip, long sword across the back, shield in one hand. I got my bracers on with throwing knives hidden up the side.
Okay, so if your shield's on your back, where's your backpack?
No, the shield's on the arm, long sword's on the back.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the frame on with the pack, which
So
makes
that's what you need to draw, James. Do you remember what Torn looks like? He's the one with... So Katie, pull up the hoodie.
The hick.
Yes.
Well, but this is what he's wearing, except very brightly colored.
Yes.
That's what Torrin's wearing. But now he's got, instead of the hood up, he's got the horn helm, so Munchkin helm.
Yes.
And then he's got long sword, backpack, shield, short sword, throwing knives, daggers.
Yeah, no, the throwing knives are hidden in the bracers.
Oh, and the bracers, and leather
Yes.
armor.
The dagger in the boot.
Dagger in the boot.
The chainmail underneath the leather armor.
Wait. You're seriously going to wear the chainmail and the leather together?
Yes.
And the hoodie.
Okay, now you know you need to look up your encumbrance carrying capacity. You're going to be way over.
Oh, how much?
You are not going to be able to move.
Your new nickname is Bait.
You are not going to be able. You will not be able to stand up. There's a picture from 2007 when we were doing the Northeast Youth Center Fantastic Fun for All Extreme Medieval Sports Program for in the Hilliard area with very hungry children there, and we did these activities. And I brought in Lord Weasel from the Society for Creative Anachronism. He was an armor and weaponsmith, a real one. And so he brought in a bunch of samples of armor and chainmail and bracers and everything for the kids to try. And we got these great pictures of these very happy kids going, cool, I get to try on armor. Well, the professor I was working with, Barbara Brock, Barb, is this tiny little woman. She's maybe 5'2", if that. Maybe 100 pounds, if that. And, very active and wiry, strong, but tiny little woman who we talked into wearing a full chainmail shirt. Mm-hmm. So, she could barely stand up because the shirt was 70 pounds. It almost weighed as much as her. And to her credit, she wore it. She belted it on and walked around through the event. But there's a photo with Lord Weasel, who's probably only 5'6" or so, and Barb on the other side. And I'm there, so I'm 6'7". So, but
you're in every picture.
If you look in the picture, no, I'm not. But if you look at the picture, you'll see I'm holding the chain shirt up for her because she was like, I can't take the weight anymore. So I'm literally holding the shirt up for her because it was so heavy, just so she could have the shot of her being in chainmail.
Yeah, so, I think they're actually in every picture. I mean, I've got some pictures from Florida that you show up in.
Who put me there? What's going on, man?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure you're so tall that you're in every photo taken in the Spokane area.
So anyway,
No, so I'm completely bedaggered out. I stomp out and be like, "Hey, Farhad! Okay, let's do some sword practice."
You can barely lift your arm.
Clink, clink.
Yeah, you're making lots of shink sounds with the chainmail and all the other gear. Oh, from Xena, Joxer the Mighty. Yes, Joxer. When you tried to put all that on.
With a little bit of Samwise Gamgee thrown in there.
I'm just going to knock Torrin over. I'm just going to push him over with one hand.
It doesn't even take a hand. Just a little, just your pinky.
But here's the question: is
just knock him over.
how long do we let him struggle on the ground before we help him back up?
Okay, so he gives you a little nudge. Flat on your back.
All right.
Lesson number 1 in sword fighting.
This woodpack hurts a little.
What was that, Joe?
Lesson number 1 in sword fighting. Don't fall down.
Okay, I'll just.
Yeah, you have a problem. So he's sticking his feet. His feet are flailing. His arms, he can't get off his back. He's
Turtling.
Moisha
yep.
walks over.
Okay.
Give me
What's
your hand.
strength? What's your
I'll
strength?
lift him up.
13.
Okay, roll. And you roll as well.
All right.
Oh, I can't do it.
What'd you get?
15.
13 of 7.
Yeah, so you're both grunting.
Clarahon will reach down and give me your hand.
The other side, okay.
Yeah.
What's your strength?
15.
Okay, roll.
5.
Okay. So he eventually gets you back up on your feet, but you're leaning heavily on him.
Well, I guess I just gotta get used to it some, and maybe after a couple of days it'll feel more natural.
7 strength.
A man like you is much more quick, both quick in mind and quick in body. Why waste your time being strong when you could be smart?
Oh, well, I mean, I always kind of figured you see them knights and they always got all that armor on. He's like, you gotta be strong to wear. You gotta start off somewhere, right?
Tauren, armor is for people who get hit.
Yeah, I guess getting hit doesn't sound like a good thing.
You don't need armor.
Also, armor tends to need a little bit of custom training that you probably don't have time for.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Well, can I still keep the helmet though? Look at this thing; it's got horns.
Okay, as long as you don't wear it in public.
Hey, is out on the trail public?
Hand me the player's handbook.
Depends if there's anybody else around.
All right.
Before we get too far into it, I want to acknowledge the
Yes,
the wonderful
artwork.
drawing from the previous.
Yeah, you want to
session.
put that up there quickly? Just
our,
show everybody
our
your
first
equipment.
official live art
Yes.
for the campaign.
Moving
Thank
the
you,
door.
James.
storeroom.
James
Thank you,
Dempster.
James.
We're going to set
That's
up a web page bio on mistheroes.com/JD. But it's not set up yet. So for now, you can. I don't know if you can search for his URL is kind of buried under Wix site something James Dempster, but we'll get you a page set up.
Make sure you save those images with the date and whatnot, so we can remember what session they're attached to.
Yeah, so everybody needs to take the following into account. I haven't made a big deal about encumbrance because you guys haven't had that much gear to be encumbered. That is now a factor. So somebody with a strength of 3 is able to lift a maximum of 30 pounds weight above his or her head in a military press, while a character with 18 strength is able to press 180 pounds in the same manner.
Are you saying
Just
most
gives you an
people don't have
idea.
a strength of 3? Because I know lots of people can't do a 30-pound press.
Well, that's...
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of wussas out there. Let's see.
So that means Torn should be able to do
Yeah,
at 7 about
so
100 pounds above
I
7?
kept track of my my encumbrance.
So you have a minus
equipping,
150
so-
to your weight allowance. So that's 150 gold pieces, basically.
Yes, the gold piece
So weight
weight.
allowance. So if a character can normally maximum, let's see, movement. I'm just trying to refresh because it's been a while since we've done encumbrance. And because your move rate with all that gear, you're going to need to add up all that weight. You need to add it all up.
Okay, well, let's see. Are we doing it by the gold piece standard that they use, even though that kind of
Yeah,
doesn't
we-
make a lot of sense?
We were using the AD&D system for that guy,
Okay.
even though it has its issues. It's not a bad ballpark.
Okay.
It's not perfect, but it's not a bad ballpark. And it at least gets you going, maybe I need to lighten my load a little bit. So I'm trying to find, where did the movement, multiplication, encumbrance? So...
And how's that fare for magic items like the glow stick, which I'm sure is worth multiple gold? just
Yeah, but
because
it
it's a
doesn't
magic
weigh
item?
enough to encumber, so
Okay.
it's at most 1 gold piece of weight. It's light wood and it's not heavy at all.
And I have bracers. I remember bracers being kind of like a special armor in this, but
So normal gear is about 35 pounds and no great bulk. You can run your full speed. Reaction and initiative are normal. Heavy gear, armor and equipment of about 70 pounds are fairly bulky. moves you down by about a quarter of your speed.
So if I'm at minus 150, does that change those values?
Yep.
Okay.
It changes what your capacity is. And I don't want to kill the game searching for it right now, but let's remember to do it after the show.
Okay.
But let's assume that you are at 1/4 your move with all that gear on you.
Okay then.
Because I think that's a pretty safe assumption right now.
Okay then. Hobble.
Yeah. We'll get the exact numbers later, but everybody keep that in mind. If you put too much on your character, you can load up your horses pretty well. These are sturdy, very sturdy horses that can take quite a bit. And you've got your pack animals.
Yeah.
You can load them up. The gear you guys got is reasonable for a group your size to load up your horses. Between the horses and the pack animals, it should be there.
Yeah.
We will want to... What's that, Joe?
The equipment frames that we got for packing, that does not increase our total weight allowance, but it does allow us to move better under one less category of encumbrance.
That's one of your Auroras?
Yeah. That's what it says in Auroras.
What?
So the equipment frames, the rigid backpack frame,
Right.
It does not allow us to carry any more weight.
Right.
But in the catalog when I was looking at them, it lowers your encumbrance category. So
by one step?
You'd be heavily encumbered.
Okay, so it lowers it by one step.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. So keep that in mind. You guys are going to need, if you're carrying a lot on yourself, if you put it on the horse, I'm not going to worry too much about it. But if you're carrying it yourself, you're going to need to enumerate the weight of your equipment on your character. We won't do it right now, but it's something we want to do before the next show, because this is going to add up over time. There will be some attrition going on. But anyway, one of the things. Before we do that, though, you need to know that I'm going to be at representing RPG Research and RPG Therapeutics at this year's PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia. And so you can check that out at the PAX Unplugged. There'll be a couple panels. If you go to rpgresearch.com and click on the news section, it shows the schedule. We'll be speaking on one panel Friday about therapeutic game mastering, and then Saturday about inclusiveness and accessibility in gaming. And then, of course, we'll be around all 3 days in the area. So if you want to connect, go ahead and email me. You can email Hawke, Hawke, at rpgresearch.com, and be glad to schedule time to meet, or just show up at the panels and talk from the audience, etc.
Are you taking the bus?
No, not in winter.
Greyhound.
No. What's that, Joe?
How many transfers and what would the fare be to take the bus all the way?
Guys, talk about the RPG bus.
Yeah.
Yes, an RPG. I know. Yeah, if it was not winter, I would consider it. Yeah,
I pretend to consider it.
I would consider it. But yeah. Anyway, so just want to let you guys know that we're going to be at PAX Unplugged. Woohoo! And next week or actually this Wednesday, we're presenting at Eagle Peak Alternative Public School about using role-playing games to help the children and youth with anger management, conflict resolution, behavioral modification, etc. They've tried to implement role-playing game in there, and they don't have the experience in role-playing context of de-escalation in the so they've had a little bit of trouble with using straight Dungeons and Dragons. Also, this is what I run into everywhere. A number of parents are concerned that D&D is against their religion and are not okay with D&D just because of what they've been told from the 1980s and such. They're still buying into it. This is something I run into all over the country.
Imagination is Satan's work.
Yeah. So we'll be presenting this afternoon, Wednesday, about that, and we may be potentially doing some programs with them down the road. We're at least going to help them out with bring them up to speed. There'll be about a dozen teachers and staff who want to learn more about what a role-playing game is and the potential uses. I've been implementing role-playing games in schools since around 1985 at various schools in different locations for different populations, from gifted and talented to at-risk youth to a whole range of special needs, etc. So that's going to be fun. And then at the end of December is when the RPG Professionals Handbook is to be published. So lots to do. And, of course, the Datillo book chapter on therapeutic recreation intervention modality using RPG therapy. So I just thought let people know about that. We'll get back into this. If you have any questions from the audience for any of the players, please do post questions. And remember, if you're hanging out in the chat room, you automatically gain hero points, and hero points can be spent to make life more interesting for the player characters close to real time. Check out on mistheroes.com, click under Audience Interaction. You'll see the catalog of many things that you can spend your points on to make things interesting. Very quickly, everybody, just go over your character very briefly in case somebody's just tuning back in.
Hi there, I'm Adam. I'm playing Torin. He has a hick from the sticks that has just recently won the jackpot on having all the coolest gear ever.
Which he can't carry.
I got a stick that glows and it's magic.
I am Lillian and playing River. She's a sea spirit, folk, Wu Jed martial artist, and she has the opposite problem as she just carries as little as possible.
I'm Katie Coonan. I'm playing Moisha Turtlebomb. Moisha is a tailor who needs to impress his lady love and has found the adventure he was looking for, and now he's having second thoughts.
I'm Andrew Messersmith. I'm playing Tok, who's a gnome illusionist out to become world famous. And that's right.
Cool. All right. And Joe?
Do this quick.
I'm Joe Coonan. I am interrupting Andy, and
I was interrupting you too, so it's okay.
He's a half elf, the only half elf of his 8 brothers and sisters. So that's interesting. And he's a thief fighter.
He's the Jon Snow of the family.
Yes.
But really...
So long as he's not the Sean Bean of the family.
Yes. Unless the show gets canceled before he dies.
Yeah.
All right. And behind the scenes, we have Dan helping with the AV and tech, and Pyro helping with the Twitch tech, and they're both having moderation. And then James Dempster here is our live real-time sketch artist, working on the various scenes. So and
There is more to him than just hands.
Yes.
No, there isn't.
So, let's get going. You guys have all your equipment?
Yes.
Anything you want to do before you go to sleep for the night?
Probably take off all my gear.
That's probably a good idea. Probably a good idea.
I get bundled up because I'm totally going to be using it, just not right now, but I'm going to...
So remember, each of you was given a nice room
All right.
in Dranera's house. Each room came with a small lantern and a little glass lantern, oil lamp. That's what I'm looking for. A little nice oil lamp in each room. Water basin, a hot and cold running tub with drainage. They don't have any sewage for a toilet. You have to go all the way out to the outhouse that's hanging off the cliff I showed you guys.
And I couldn't get a brace
That's the outhouse out there on the platform. It's a multi-toilet outhouse, and it just goes off the cliff. That's what it is. It just was the easiest thing.
My room had an outhouse. It's just got weird hot and cold running water. I'm confused about it.
Yeah, but
it's supposed to work.
But each of your rooms has hot and cold running water and a large tub.
Yeah.
That you
The
can fill.
first thing Moisha is going to do is soak in a hot bath and scrub all of the grime off of him until his skin is red and raw.
Okay. We'll start over here and,
All right,
and
then.
come back to that. So, Torin, you come to your room. The
I
boy
made this
introduces
morning.
you to it. Yeah.
So I'm going to set out all the sweet stuff I have and meticulously look over.
Including your candy.
Oh, yes.
Literally sweet stuff, yeah.
Yes. I'm going to pop some in my mouth right now.
Yep.
And, yeah.
The
and then-
candy, not the gear.
Hey, now. Don't you make
Who knows
assumptions
what that
about what
glow
Torn
thing
does.
tastes
What's that, Joe?
Who knows what that glow thing
That's right.
I spend copious amounts of time basically laying out the gear and figure out what's going to take on me, what I'm going
Okay.
to pack for now, what
Okay.
I'm going to carry on the hips. And,
Okay.
Yes. So,
Are you going to bathe? There's a strange, large basin thing with tubes sticking into it and a hole in
I
the
bathed
bottom
just
and
that
a
morning,
plug
right?
and- this was that night. Remember, you guys are going to leave early in the morning.
No, but I'm saying the morning that we met them, they had us all bathe and do everything, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I already bathed once. What's wrong with you?
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're before that morning. You guys were there that morning and afternoon.
Yeah.
And then she said you could go to your rooms and
Okay.
give your list of equipment. And you guys have done that. So it's afternoon at this point, going
Okay.
into evening.
You suggest he soak in a pool of his own bodily waste and just dirt and filth? No, that's disgusting. Use a nice stream. Nice clean stream.
Is how to do it. Yeah. No, but I basically spend my time playing with my gear.
Okay.
River will be taking a bath for sure, and then she will look over.
Then you are tickled, running hot and cold water. You're like, wow, these people are not so primitive after all.
Yeah, and she's gonna look over like the rice paper book and yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's nice lacquer.
Very nice.
Moisha takes a deep, long bath, and then once he's finished scrubbing himself and washing his beard, he will brush it out and plait it into a very complicated 8-plaited braid.
That is complicated. Have fun drawing that, James.
I know. I had to plan that out. That is a very difficult one.
That is.
Yes.
That is indeed.
Well, first of all, he's going to get detailed instructions on how to incubate
An egg.
a goose egg.
Okay. One of the women there gives you lots of details
And
about
then any
apparently she's
particular
in charge of
care
the geese.
about juvenile.
That's a little more complicated. So they're able to give you good incubation care and what to do in the early stages.
Mm-hmm.
The training is like that would take days to tell you everything.
just
but
when
they give you
it's-
some highlights.
Just when it's a hatchling, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
just
they,
if there's
they
any,
give you that
you
info.
gotta keep it warm still, or you know. that
Yeah,
kind of
so
stuff.
they give you a quick little checklist.
And then
Oh,
I am going to take a swim in the indoor pool
yes.
in my room.
For you, it is a small.
I'll do a few laps.
There you go.
And just soak away
Yes, it's quite
the
pleasant.
pain.
So
and
the reason why they have
dirt.
hot water is they're able to. There's a natural hot spring off the side. So one area there's a hot spring, another area there's cold running water. So they've tapped into both.
Does it have a
Captured
sulfury?
it. Yeah, a little, not bad, but
Okay.
slightly. Yeah, yeah,
Healing properties?
potentially, But you guys are all fully healed anyway, so. I believe, right, Joe? You're all fully hit pointed up, right? Yep. I thought everybody was.
Roger that.
Good. And Joe, what do you do?
Tom will also go in and get himself a bath.
Okay.
He's going to put on the Iridian clothing that he got, tried on, see how it fits.
Okay.
He's gonna-
It's not a perfect fit. It's going to need a little tailoring, and it has the holes in it. It has 3 arrow holes and 1 sword hole.
Cool. He's going to make notes of all that stuff. And,
Okay. And actually, the sword hole, the arrow holes and sword holes go through both sides.
Okay.
So,
So he's going to mark that down
Yep.
and take note of all that and then take it off.
okay.
And he's going to ask Moshe to repair it with the third bolt of red silk cloth that he acquired whenever he did that.
So this Iridian clothing's mostly black or very dark brown, and you're gonna slash those holes with little red silk pieces
Just
instead
wear a
of just
sash.
stitched
I
up.
am going to let the tailor do his job.
Okay.
And not tell the tailor how to do the tailoring. We have this cloth available to
Okay. So all of you are bathing before dinner. You finish your bath. You're not. Sorry, you're not. But everybody else is. Because she said, go relax, rest, clean up, and then we're going to have a feast, in the evening. And so that evening you start smelling more of these wonderful spices, some very strange spices, but it makes your stomach rumble and such. Even though you thought you were quite filled before, X number of hours later, you are hungry again. And so it is evening, and the smell is beckoning to you. You guys slowly come out into the same meeting room with the big ceiling to floor windows facing west. and you can see the sun setting, breaking through the clouds here and there. Remember, to the north, there's no clouds currently. To the south, it's socked in completely with both clouds and walls of fog with occasional flashes. But to the west, it's kind of a mixture. But the sun is still above the horizon, but it is close to setting. And food has been laid out on the various tables here and there, and it's same as before. Use your yes.
So at this point, because I mentioned I was fiddling with all my gear,
yes,
they're allowing us to have things which would be construed as a weapon around Legionnaire, or no? Like we could have it.
You're not supposed to bring your weapons into the feast. You can have it in the room, but
okay.
don't bring your weapons into the. Yeah, they were told to leave your weapons behind.
Making sure. Got it.
Yeah. So unless you want to try to sneak some.
Oh no.
Okay. Anybody want to try to sneak some weapons in?
While I was gone, have we generally started as a party feeling a little bit more comfortable? Has this whole region earned our trust back a little bit since we met the lady?
You ask them. Ask them what their experience has been.
Yes.
Okay. Oh man, this place
They're
is so
giving us
fancy.
lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I got
They
two
gave us lots of
swords.
stuff before,
And then you were
poisoned
tied
us.
out, passed out, and interrogated. Not so that order.
So they could be preparing us for the
Fattening
next
the goose.
level
Yes.
of tying up and interrogation.
Yeah, you had you met Dranera finally, although she's veiled in her clothing, rich dark clothing, but she is veiled, so you got to meet her. She opened the scroll. It says in short, basically, go to the Oracle and have these people escort you, and that there's a reward for doing so. When you get there, there's a cache of stuff you can be rewarded for. And she was very open. She lets you guys see the scroll, and it was in Regnum Sapientium. It wasn't in Iridian, and let you each take a look at it, the scroll, etc. And was very open about everything. And, you guys, what was your impression of the Lady Dranera?
Oh, it's like those things you hear about in stories where it's like a princess and it's magic and everything. Basically that.
River finds her very nice and trusting. Everybody else, maybe not so much. But for her, yes.
Okay.
She seems lovely, and while Moishe is ready to go home, he's committed himself, and part of that commitment is to see her through, so he's choosing to trust despite the fact that they poisoned him.
Yep, that's an issue.
That's obligation for you.
Yeah, Joe?
Farhad likes her, but he doesn't want to. He was like, oh yeah, hooray, there's another Iridian person. Yeah, I like this. It reminds me of home. She seems super nice, but he's still got a small grudge about the treatment they received when they got there. It is certainly something that you could rationalize and justify. It's not something that he really appreciated.
Okay, hang on a second here, because now, sure enough, I jinxed us. The audio is starting to glitch. Let's see, where did the... We got to do it because it's really bad. I think we're getting...
We've had worse, but
Not
much.
That was pretty bad. Let's see, task
It could be
manager.
my fault. I did just take a Benadryl.
A what?
Benadryl.
Let's see here.
Benadryl usually to make you sound like a robot? A vibrating robot with loose parts?
Let's see.
See, I'm going to choose to interpret your reaction to the lady as
I'm
you're trying to be cool, because, but I'm going to be cool. Yeah.
I'm going to kill the browser instances, and I'll be back here on both of these. So
I
let's
like her,
just see,
but that'd be cool.
see if that helps, because the CPU and everything is showing a pretty high load,
Are
actually.
you going murder orphan operations?
Yeah.
You're the worst.
Order of murder operations.
Kill that shot.
Let's see here. Hang
So, who here likes snow?
I do.
Who here likes
Hang on,
snow
save
this
it for the-
early?
Oh wait, no, you guys okay. It's just poor Joe's missing out.
Oh no, what's fun is my students, because I don't know why they freak out, but it starts snowing, screaming immediately over Yuki snow.
Well, I suppose it depends on
They're
what
excited.
region they're from.
There, a lot of them are from like west, south, like farther south. West, it's much harder and
Yeah,
humid there,
okay.
so it does.
Because they
make
do get
sense.
snow
But
in certain regions.
they did react. They always react. They're really happy, like, you know, the first few times it snows, and then after about a month, they're like, "Wait a second."
It's staying.
The realization.
It's so adorable when you make a new friend from the south
Yes.
on their first winter up here,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
and you see them wearing these giant coats. Like, where do you even get a coat that big? It's like you're wearing a sleeping bag around.
I like how it's
have
like,
one of
oh, it's so
those.
pretty. It's like, you know, you have to get out at like 3 a.m. to shovel that, right? Because when it turns to ice, you're kind of screwed.
Oh, last year when we got the new house, it has a long driveway, and I'm like, no. First thing we do is get a snowblower because
Yeah.
we are not going to want to shovel that.
See, I never liked snowblowers because I always like that little film. And if the ground is not warm enough, it will just like
Oh, no,
ice
no.
over.
You get a decent one, and you just go over it as many times as possible and press a little bit. You can get that stuff.
I have
down.
children, so I got snow shovels. That fit.
Good.
Mine's not quite ready for that.
You never can start too young.
Yeah. I think we're going to start with a spoon and
There you
then
go.
work her way up to a snow shovel.
Yeah.
When I lived in Minneapolis, I had 4 friends, all from Texas. Minnesota winter
Oh,
was
it's
so
layered
fun
over it.
because at first they like pressed up against the desk during class,
It's a
like
layering
watching the
issue.
snowfall, and then like
we go.
a week later they're like, "Wow, 5 feet of snow's not that much fun." And they hated it.
Yeah, when I was 22, I adopted an 18-year-old from Texas, basically. I worked with him, and I just
I can mess with those.
had this instant
It's just that the sizes have gotten
impulse
metal.
to
it reversed
protect
the
him and
scale.
mentor
I'm
him.
gonna.
I got it.
Okay.
It's like finding a baby
So we're gonna
bird.
fight over the mouse.
They were funny.
10 years ago, I started driving a truck long haul,
Yes.
and that
Cool
was
story.
the winter that Spokane got.
Oh,
like
8 feet.
85
Yeah,
Snowzilla.
Snowzilla. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah, 8 feet in 6 weeks, or 6 feet in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was
Something like that.
84 inches in 24 hours.
Oh, that was the year they closed Division, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Division was the only one that was still open. Everything else
No,
closed.
I remember one day Division was closed.
Yeah.
They,
Okay, go
they
ahead,
shut down
Zach.
all the buses.
Until March.
Well, I had my Bronco, and so I took all the side roads because Division just stopped. It was backed up the whole way. And I just took all the side roads, and it was over my hood. And we were having a blast with the Bronco. Boys and I were having a great time. It only took us 20 minutes to get downtown and back in all that snow. Everybody else was like 2 hours.
I got a call 3 hours before my shift working downtown when I lived up near Wandamere. And they're like, "Are you coming in today?" "Yeah." "Oh, good. Because the buses are not running."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh,
Yeah.
then no, I'm not."
So, yes, anyway. You guys have the feast.
Fancy Party 2.0.
Jernera is there briefly again. She is veiled. You can tell there's a female face there. You can tell there's long hair underneath on one side. But it's all veiled heavily, so you can't really see her. You still have not seen her face clearly. And the
What
boy
sort of
has
food?
not spoken the entire time, and Karn has not come in. You have seen Karn outside preparing things, getting animals ready and such. The boy running back and forth helping. Some of the other villagers have come up from time to time with supplies. And so outside you've seen stuff out in the stables and such getting ready. But Karn does not come in.
What sort of food is?
Oh,
Any sort of-
it's heavily Middle. It's a heavy mixture of Middle Eastern and Mediterranean type food. So think
Because say Middle Eastern and Scandinavian, that'd be interesting.
No, it's totally Iridian food. So you eat with your hand. You have serving stuff to put it on your plate, but you use bread in your hands to eat the food, and it's a whole mixture of just combined stuff. Very, very tasty. Very, lots of seasoning, and some seasonings you're not familiar with, but quite tasty. Some things you like better than others. And they've laid out a dozen different dishes for the dinner. So whereas it was about a half a dozen for brunch, it's a dozen different dishes for dinner. Just all kinds of choices. Some fish-based, some lamb and others, and beef, and a whole
Torn
variety.
kind of ticks around the fish.
Okay. After your experience? Yeah. You guys notice, though, when you come to dinner, you do not see Weevil. I don't know if anybody wants to bring that up.
Excuse me, friends. Has anyone noticed that our leader is missing?
Yeah, it's awfully quiet. Where is he?
Hey, I don't smell badger none.
Yeah, you haven't seen the badger around.
Yes, is there any news about our friend? Is he coming late, or?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. After speaking with him and his desires, I have sent him on an important mission to the High Elves in the Northwest.
Oh.
These are people he really wanted to see, and he can do us a special favor. So I have sent him as an envoy to meet our needs. I sent him with a couple of the villagers to protect him, but he decided that he had more pressing issues in that direction and could be of use to you in that way. We hope sometime in the future you will see him again, but it may be sometime. And I'm sorry he did not have a chance to say goodbye.
Yes, that's a bit of a concern there. I was just starting to not be terribly annoyed by him.
Indeed.
Yeah. He told me so much about the leprechaun way of life.
Well, apparently he's very excited about getting to see something from the High Elves called the airships, which I've seen ancient drawings of, but I've never seen in person. And he says that the High
I feel
Elves,
like I've seen him from the way he's droned on about them.
Yes, he went on at length. And according to what I learned when I was young, that is something the High Elves still retain, though they do not use frequently anymore. Mostly saved for wartime.
Oh, that's exciting for him.
Very.
I guess he's their problem now.
Well, he's helping. He's
yes,
able to take care
I
of
joke.
a need that would be far out off your course.
I joke, of course. He was a handful at times, but he was a good traveling companion and very useful when we could aim him.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you use a fish with someone, you kind of have a special bond, but I don't know. That's not really ever happened.
What do you mean?
Oh, we used a fish one time. Well, not like one fish. Like, he used a fish, now it's a fish. He was a little fish, now it's a big fish, of course.
You sense her confusion, though you can't see her face clearly.
Oh.
You and Weevil were fish?
Oh, yeah.
This sounds like an interesting story.
Oh, well, let me
It's
tell
a
you all
southern
about it. So anyways, we was traveling, right? And we had this little sick girl, and she had the plague. And we was taking her on...
She didn't have the plague.
Oh, yeah.
She had a really nasty cold. We joked that it was the plague.
Yeah.
We joked, you know.
Anyways.
I see.
We teased her about it like, oh, don't give us the plague. Oh, no. Stay away, little girl. Because we didn't want to get the cold.
Yeah.
The bad cold.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Because we didn't have any chicken soup to...
So we went up to this one fella who lived up in a tree and was kind of crazy. But yeah, so he had this it was definitely like a magic tree. Like, you could just tell, magic. And it had this little river run by it with all these little fish.
Where was this?
Oh, that was back, fish. I don't know. We was pretty far in the rough. Said, hey, where do you think that was anyways?
In the woods north of Port Bangkok.
Belkoff?
Yeah.
Belkov.
Let's see, we crossed the King's Road, Anyways, I forget how we got there. We just managed to follow this owl, which I think was a magic owl. Just because, it kept like it's trying to guide us there. And anyways, I was taking a bath in the river, right? Because, well, where else are you going to take a bath? And I turned into a fish. And Weevil was also in the water, so he turned into a fish.
You found the great tree?
I mean, it was a big tree, so I guess you could say
What you're describing sounds like the legends of the great tree.
And this old guy,
What did
he
you
was
know
kind of
about it?
crazy.
It's supposed to be a source of life and fertility for these lands.
Well, it was definitely keeping the area around it nice and healthy. It was a lot warmer and more comfortable than any of the surrounding woods.
The old people that were here before Regnum Sapientium was settled, the people that are now in the Two Rivers and the Two Rivers Islands, they had a lot of legends about the creation of the world and such, and they claimed that the great old tree was the source of all life. Other scholars say that it is just for the region, but it is a protected area by the king himself, who to leave this area alone.
Well, it might be the source of all fish life, from what we've seen.
Anyway, he's a terrible cook, because his soup's awful.
Who it is?
Oh, the old guy lives up in the tree.
There's
kinda
an
like an
old
owl.
guy and an
Yeah.
owl.
Well, no, he kind of looks like an owl, and he has a pet owl, which I think is a magic owl. I mean,
Huh,
yeah. So, anyways,
how strange.
so there we was. I was getting bit up, and I start turning into a fish. I'm like, guys, what do I do? And they're like, well, get in the water, because you turn into a fish. So I got in the water, turned into a big fish, and you can listen to all the other little fish talking. Turns out fish can talk. Didn't know that. And,
Really?
yeah.
Only to other fish.
Huh. What did they say?
Oh, lots of things like, don't eat me. And...
What did they say? I see.
Yeah, so mostly don't eat me. I was way bigger than them, it turns out. And anyways, so we was out swimming around because what else you going to do as a fish? And if you swim off far enough from the tree, well, you stop being a fish. And then you're just really cold in the water. You have to get out, and all your clothes back downstream, so you're walking around naked out in the middle of who knows. Anyways, that's the time me and we got turned into fish.
I just got a little scaly. I was able to take care of that a bit easier without nearly so much
Interesting.
nakedness.
Well, that is wonderful. That it does sound like the legends of the great tree.
Yeah.
His stew, his soup, as the boy says, was it definitely helped with our cold.
Oh yeah, the
But
girl
boy,
got
was
way
it
better.
foul.
Now, do not confuse the great tree with the tree of life that the Northrons speak about.
Oh, they got a magic tree too?
There, people have another story about the tree of life.
I wanna
Almost
have a
everybody
magic-
has a magic
I
tree.
think they
somewhere in
call
there.
it Igdrasil or something like that. I forget exactly, but I've heard it through the legends.
Does it have an old crazy man in it too?
There is a legend of someone called the Wanderer, but I don't know the relationship with the tree.
Oh.
My Northrun knowledge is not as strong as it should be, considering these wonderful people have been so helpful.
Alright then.
They call him the Wanderer? Yeah, the Wanderer?
Wander.
Dion and the Belmont?
I'd like to
Is
say
that
I
what it
did
is?
not break
Yes,
character or
nicely
continuity
done.
with that.
Nicely done. All right. Apparently, this is crack up Katie.
Joe can tell you I'm an easy mark.
Yeah. Yeah, but Joe's hilarious. So, he had all of us rolling at Jet City and stuff. So, yeah. Still got some of those video clips that were hilarious. All right. So she found that very interesting and such.
Okay.
But yeah. So the meal goes through. Unless there's something you specifically want to ask her.
You guys want to get the adventure on the road, or we can, if you want to discuss. I mean, you'll have plenty of chances to ask questions on the road, but if you want to ask her stuff now, if you have concerns and such, now go ahead and do it before bedtime. You're going to be very early, like 3.
You know that Lord Torchilon's a curious character.
What do you mean curious?
He's just very interesting fella. I mean, he's nice enough and very helpful on our way, especially when things